Okay, hey everybody, another kiln opening with the frog chorus in the background. I always end up doing these kiln openings at night. I'm using my canvas lamp to hold my phone and get a really good video, so let's start it up. I peeked in here earlier because I couldn't wait. Usually it takes about 12 hours for me to fire and then another 12 to cool, so if I do it before I go to bed, and then you have to wait a whole 2 days before you get to see what's inside, so sometimes I peek. Okay, this one got a lot of crazy little stuff, a lot of tests, a lot of things on stilts, a lot of I actually, for the first time, I'm using my bead rack at the very bottom, so we will see what it all comes out like and if I can remember everything. So okay. Let's see, let's start with these guys because I kind of know what they are. This is just a little trinket dish that I made kind of a while ago when I was messing around with colored slips. This is kind of like a some slip marbled together and then just kind of thrown onto a plaster slab, then later formed into a dish, and it got a big crack in it. But what I really wanted to see was, this is a different clear that I'm trying. So this is PG 269, which is Georgie's super clear, and that's two coats of that. There's a little, I don't know, this maybe wasn't the most perfect surface, but it's kind of got a really nice surface. It's glossy, but it's not like overly glossy. It's kind of between glossy and satin, maybe. Okay, so let's start pulling these out. This is another one that I did the same thing. It's kind of like a technique I've seen on Instagram. Morgan Levine makes these really cool like slip and all the little pieces of, like, the slip, it's like wet on wet, black slip with pink slip, and then you can take a tool and drag the slip around to get these crazy patterns. So it's my first test on that. This is just a little test dish also, but this is mix and clear, amaco mix and clear on top of the colored slips. So this is black and some kind of pink. I can't quite remember. The other thing I would tell you before we get going on this is that I fired to cone 5 this time. I was a little worried about maybe the bead rack sagging at cone 6, and plus I had a lot of very small stuff, a lot of stuff with celadons on it, so I decided to go for a 5. So we'll see if it actually hit 6 or not. That might be the difference as to why this clear is so nice, because sometimes clears are really nice at 5 and then at 6 they get a little weird. So, oh, here's a stilt. You can see it's kind of almost one with the stilt, not really, but let me get my rubber mallet here. So maybe, I don't know, can I get it off without horribly breaking it? Ooh, there we go. All right, I got it off. The issue with this is a cute little braided spoon. And I kind of wanted it to be, this is a brown clay, and it's got Mako Sand and Sea on it. Kind of thick, but I knew it would break like this. I was kind of stuck as to how to glaze it, so I ended up glazing it on this stilt, but as you can see, it kind of like warped over the stilt. It kind of warped in an okay way though, like soft bend, so I guess that's alright. I got the little shell imprint up here, the twist, the hand-formed bowl. I guess it actually turned out okay in the end. Like I said, a lot of tests, a lot of weird stuff in here, so it's maybe a little different because I don't know what's going to happen. This is a brown plate that I made just on a GR pottery form. I pressed some little, they're kind of like a dandelion, but not really, plants into it. And then, actually, I filled all these up with green and yellow stroke and coat. And then I put a layer of birch on top, just one, because I thought, you know how people do those peacock bowls and they do birch as a cover coat and the stroke and coat kind of pops through? I thought maybe that would happen on this, and it hasn't really. You almost can't tell that I did it at all, except for maybe that little section right there where there's like a tiny bit of green popping through. My issue with these plates in general were that a few of the spots on the pressings were really deep, like almost too deep so as to catch stuff in them. Maybe next time I won't do them so deep. But like from far away, maybe I'll just do birch on the other one too. I have a larger one, a larger size. This is the small size. So 2 matching plates, so I guess I should continue to make them match. Okay. Now, these morel combos, I think I've got them figured out. So, this one is, they're all brown clay. So, the top, this must be the frosted lemon. And then birch on the bottom. Frosted lemon and birch. Let's see. And then this one is copper jade. You can see there's kind of a greenish tint in there. Copper Jade by Amaco, and Texture Cascade by Spectrum on the bottom. And then birch on top and oatmeal on the bottom. I kind of really like how that oatmeal looks on the brown clay. It's kind of like a little speckly, but... And these are all pendants, so they have this stringing hole that you can string them, or ornaments, or, you know, whatever you want to do with them. Okay, and then this one, the top is Textured Autumn, which is the Spectrum, and the bottom is Nutmeg, which is the Spectrum Chino. I really like that nutmeg in the on texture, like really nice deep texture, because it breaks so good. Although that's what Chinos are known for. And then the Texture Autumn, I'm learning to like that more. So I've got a couple tests coming up with that. Okay, and then the last one is Tiger's Eye on the top, which is a Amaco. Which is funny, when you put it on white clay, all you get is this creamy kind of stuff, and you don't get any of the, you know, breakage clear, which would be red if it was white clay, but it's red clay, so it all looks dark. And then, oh, wrought iron. Okay. So that wrought iron is like glossier than I thought. I kind of thought maybe it'd be a matte. Texture Autumn and wrought iron. I mean, sorry, Tiger's Eye Amaco, and wrought iron. This one was the Texture Autumn. Yeah. Okay. And all these different ones, I gotta remember which one's which, so. Oh, now you can hear it's starting to rain. Rain on the roof. Okay. So, let's see if we can't get these out of here. Oh, it comes right off. Right, I got these cool stilts. See the stilt? It's like, they're from the ceramicshop.com. And they have 9 little pins sticking up. And they're really good for stuff like this pipe or the spoon, stuff that's like long but skinny. And you want more than a few points of contact. I also got these ones that are 3-pointed, more for a round thing. Or something you want to lid upside down or something. Okay, so this is a morel pipe. I got, let's see. There's snow on the inside, but you can't really tell that. This is Latte on the bottom by Georgie's. And this is on a brown clay, so I don't know if that makes a difference. But it's this creamy white, and it's got the brown breaking marks there. Cream breaking rust, which is really nice. And ancient copper there on the top. So this is a fully functional pipe. You got the little bowl there, the carb mouthpiece. And then this is another pipe I did, the Georgie's Latte. On the top, I guess really thick, looks like. Maybe I shouldn't have done it that thick, because it's kind of nice when it's thin and patchy and you get that variegation. And then, let's see. Latte on the cap. Oh, birch on the stem, and I did the birch kind of patchy on there too. So if you did it thicker, it'd be more coverage, but okay, and then this guy. Ooh. Chai matte. I wanted to get chai gloss, amaco chino, but I guess I ordered chai matte instead, and it's pretty good, but it's definitely matte. This is a hand-built pipe I made to look like a branch. This actually is just a branch. It's not the carbs on that side, so pretty cute. I wanted to try making one of these first, and then maybe next time I'll add some shelf mushrooms or, you know, moss or some other jazz. Like that. Okay. And then this is the last of my 3 barnacle pipes. I've had one in each of the last 3 firings. And this one is Amaco Bluestone. Really nice. It's kind of like a matte, variegated blue. And then my little barnacles turned out really nice. Those are white underglaze with manganese wash, white back. And then no glaze on top. They're pretty matte. But yeah, it's just like a chillum. Okay. Here's this little pipe. I did this. Ooh, look at that. Now that came out excellently. I wanted to do so many layers just so that I got that nice blue. This is Sapphire Float right here. Last time I did it, I didn't get as much of the blue. I got the break over the texture, but this one had really deep texture on it. You can see from the bottom how deep the texture was. Oh, and I love where the two come together. So then I did pearl white on the barnacles, and that kind of ran all around. See, if you don't do it thick enough on the sapphire float, you get this black right here. And then on the other side is the Mako root beer, which I kind of imagined was going to come out like a glossy dark brown color, but I got this really nice float to it. It's funny though, because on the white clay, it's like got a clear brown, clear dark brown, transparent, and then where it's heavy, it's like blue, black, and spotty. So again, you know, pipe. This one, I guess, doesn't have a carb. Anyway, hang on. I like all these so much. Okay. Let's do this kitty cat. Kitty! Okay. Normally I try to avoid buying figurative plaster molds, but sometimes I just can't help myself. So this is a cat that's a vintage mold, and then I added all of these flowers and vines and leaves all hand built on the side. So the cat in overall is done in smoke, amaco smoke, and I did the nose and the ears in spectrum underglaze, soft pink, and the eyes in leaf green. And then I did clear over the eyes, but I kind of did the smoke celadon over everything else except for the flowers. The flowers are sangria, spectrum sangria only. So, but for the leaves, like, the cat was all white and bisques, and I painted the leaves green and then cleaned it all up. And then I was like, well, how am I going to paint glaze all along, you know what I mean? Just the inside of that loop or something. So I was like, well, whatever, I'll just put it all over. Because it is kind of clear, and it's just smoke, so it'll just kind of darken it. And it worked. And it looks really good. You can kind of see the smoke maybe pooling in a few spots. But I think it makes it look kind of, you know, natural. And I did a lot of coats of smoke on the cat. Like 4 or possibly 5 in some spots, especially on the top of his head. So, yeah, cute little cat sculpture. I'm kind of a crazy cat lady. I have 6 cats right now, and if you think that's bad, it used to be 11, so. Huh. Okay, let's do these crystals. Let me get my notes, crystal notes. So, okay, this crystal 5 is blue, it's the brown clay, blue or teal with winter wood. And usually on these crystals, I try to do just 2 coats of each. The winter wood was kind of just globs on top. It wasn't anything too crazy. Blue or teal, though, if you don't put it thick enough on brown clay, it's not going to come through as good. Okay, ooh, that's a fun one. This is Dark Green Gloss by Mako, covered by Enchanted Forest. Yeah. So the gloss glazes, like if you want a crystal glaze to not move very much, you put a gloss glaze under it. Conversely, you know, you want something to move more, you put something like winter wood under it, where everything it touches, it runs. But the gloss glazes are pretty stable, and then instead of streaks, you kind of get these little dots. This one's Satin Patina by Mako, which has a really, it's got like really good coverage, and it's matte, and it's not dinnerware safe, but really nice color. Okay, and then let's see, 4 texture. This is texture cascade, and this too you got to put on really thin if you want it to not be so globby and white. If you want to get that nice, really nice breakage. Look at along all the lines of all the facets of the crystal. Really stripy. Wow, that one turned out really amazing. Texture cascade on brown clay. It's a good look. Okay, oh, and then this is lustrous jade, and then let's see, oh, lustrous jade times 2, iron yellow times 1, and then light flux drips. And when I do drips, usually I do them like on here on this winterwood one where you can see where the drips are. They're like on the tip. And then when they melt, they make it down to the bottom, but I don't put them at the bottom to start. So that's how the flux was on this. It's a combo I liked a lot on white clay, and it's pretty nice on the brown. It breaks the same way too. Nice breakage. Okay. And oh, one more. Ooh. Ooh, look at this one. This one I wasn't even sure what to expect. I knew I bought this stuff for a reason. This is Spectrum's Pewter. And I thought maybe it would be kind of like palladium or some kind of, you know, those metallic mirror colors they have. And it is, except for that one pinhole right there. Yeah, really shiny, really nice. Pewter. Okay, alright, so this is a little dish, mushroom dish box we got going here. And this is Amber Topaz by Amaco. This is the latte by Georgie's. I'm kind of noticing it didn't break brown at all, which is really what I wanted it to do, so, you know, no big deal. But lesson learned. It seems real thick though. These two are like, were separate, and now they're kind of like glued together. Some glazes, you know, they have a different consistency. Some are really thin and really thin depositing layers, and some seem like they're thin but are actually depositing a thick layer. So, and then that's Mako's Lime Shower on the top for the moss. Really good moss look. And then, ooh, this one is another box, hexagon box. Okay, so the box itself is Mako birch, and purple crystal inside, and on the shrimmies, see if we can see the gills. Yeah. And then Georgie's Moss Thicket on the moss. And it's kind of like a really nice thick green. It's a little bit matte. It's kind of got a matte waxy look to it. Almost like the satin patina. Cute box. Okay. And before we do that one, let me just do these cones real quick. So we got 5. It's more than a 5. 6 just starting. And 7, not really. So it did what I said. What I programmed it for was cone 5 with a 5-minute hold. Because I wasn't sure if I should just do cone 5 or, you know, like how much the hold raises the temperature. If you do cone 5 with a 20-minute hold, you end up with cone 6. Once again, testing required. So this is a little cast perfume jar that I did, and I decorated it in the style of another Instagram artist, Taylor Sijan, who does these really amazing like Tyvek leaf stencils that she then does the underglaze and then peels back the stencil and does all kinds of layering and finishes it with black and some really beautiful stuff. So I was inspired by her stencils, and I got some paper stencils of my own and tried it. It's really hard. And the underglaze, you know, like it dries so fast, and then the stuff is hard to peel off, and you don't really want these hard lines, but I kind of like this look where it's like a batik kind of, where it's like the one color underneath and then the resist and then the other color on top of it. I think that's the coolest part of this. So I covered it with underglaze and then bisked it. And then this is Mako's Stoneware Clear over the top. And then on the inside, Mako Lime Shower. And inside there too. So this is a cute little thing. I like to fire my lids separate. I don't know. Some people don't, but they always say to fire them together. But I kind of don't really like that, you know, like the bisque on bisque where it's like so I always just do the lid separate and wipe just that part. So then that rim and then this bottom are the only parts that don't have glaze, and then the whole rest of everything has glaze on it. So. Okay, now we're going to see this bead rack. I put it on the bottom. It was way smaller than I remembered it was when I bought it, and then I went to put the stuff on, and I had so much stuff to put on, and I only ended up putting a few of the things on there, so. I have to do some more kiln wash on that one. Oh yay, no one's stuck together. Amazing. Woo. Okay, can we see down in there? Let's see. Let's rotate this a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, I got it readjusted. Okay. So this first one that I know for sure. This is brown clay, a brown clay pinched mug. And I did frosted lemon all over, in and out. And then I did Aurora green, just on like that much. Pretty nice. Ooh, this one, lots of brush strokes, but that's kind of what we're going for. So what I did on this one is I did all over, I painted the red iron oxide, like all over everything, inside, outside, upside down. And then I wiped it back from all the texture, the mushrooms, the moss. And then over all the background, I painted iron yellow ×2. And then wiped back all the texture again, the mushrooms and everything. So they were kind of plain. And then the iron yellow iron wash is just on the base of it. And then I did stroke and coat cantaloupe on the mushrooms. And I don't have it written down what I did on the green. I want to say, no, I don't know what it is. I'll have to research it. Really cute though. This little teacup, a cast teacup with a little fancy handle. And then I added all those mushrooms. Okay. This was a test and it looks really kind of fun. I guess I'm gonna have to do it on a flat surface instead of a dish. But this started out with snow, and then into the snow I sprinkled chips of stained glass. I used to do stained glass a lot of years ago, and I have a lot of scraps still, so I popped them in there. There is a little crazing, which is what you can expect every time you put glass into the bottom of a dish, and then technically it makes it not food safe. But it looks cool. And the colors stayed. There was green, there was blue, there was red. I can see it all in there. So that was kind of what I was afraid of. That it would just all, you know, they'd all turn to brown or something because the colors aren't maybe high fire enough. Ooh, check this out. Okay. So this was, it was like a one of these bottles, but it didn't have a top, and so I mixed my own color. This color is Mako's white gloss mixed with a mason stain called Bermuda, and it's one of my favorites. It's got this really fun, like, kind of, you know, green, blue, kind of like the Caribbean watercolor. And then on the top I put Jungle Gems Herb Garden. So I just put it on the very top, and it moved about twice that much. That's what I would say for a lot of those Jungle Gems fired at cone 6 or cone 5, which is what this is. That's another reason I put this piece in here, because I didn't want it to run like so much. So it's a cute little vase, maybe something. Okay. Oh, cute. Okay, then we got indigo float inside of here, and oatmeal. Is that what that is? Yeah, oatmeal. On the, let's see if I can't figure this out. This is sometimes what happens when you do lids and you don't fire them together. The issue is sometimes with hand-built items. Oh, there we go. There's one way it fits. Yay. And then on top, this is birch ×3 and cordovan ×1. Getting this cool birch over cordovan. I mean cordovan over birch look. And then because a lot of boletes are blue when you cut into them, I put the blue in there. So this is like a little jar, stash jar or something. Pretty cute, huh? Hand-built items sometimes move a lot more than you think they're going to in the kiln, as opposed to thrown items. Ooh. This guy, kind of a test. Like I was saying, I made this guy a long time ago before I knew a lot of things. And even half glazed him too before I knew a lot of things. So this is speckled moody blue, but then it's a stroke and coat. But then I ended up putting dots of snow on him, because the speckled moody blue, it looks really good at cone 04, real speckled, but at cone 6 it kind of just loses it. So And then these mushrooms are Arctic blue with blue stone on top, both amacos. Arctic blue and blue stone makes this nice kind of bright blue, almost navy blue that that matches this. Okay, so this was a mold that I had. It was actually a polar bear mold, and there's some, you can see the cracking right here. This is where I added clay. I basically changed his whole face and put like a little hump on him and stuff to make him look more like a forest bear, less like a polar bear, although he still has that long neck. Anyway, pretty cute. Tests. And let's do these palms. 1, 2, 3. So I got 5. Jeez, that's not even a 5, really. 6 and 7. This is my problem with the kiln. I don't know. Like when I put it on 6 with nothing, no hold, no nothing, I get a 7. And then when I put it on 5, even with a hold, I'm not even getting a 6. So, well, all these glazes are 5/6. It's still a little crazy. So, okay, let's do this. So, I got these mushrooms. Let me find my list. Okay, here we go. Okay, bolete. Okay, oatmeal on the bottom. That cool speckled look on the brown clay. And then tiger's eye on top, which looks alright. I'm not loving it. Let's see, this one, Guild. That must be this might be one. I don't know. Let's set this one aside because I don't know what that is yet. We'll do a process of elimination here. This is a little shell, hot pink spectrum on the inside, and of course I didn't write it down. Texture Cascade, I want to say, on the outside. This one, I think, is the... no. Cool white? Is that one? We'll just do the ones I know. This one was pearl white all over, kind of wiped back. Trying to look like the Old Man of the Woods mushroom. Probably should have done more on all these. I was worried, you know, that it's gonna run off or something. This seems like the pearl white underneath, and snapdragon on top. Interesting that the snapdragon gives such a almost opaque red on this brown clay for being a celadon. This must be the latte again. Latte on top and birch on the bottom. Because that latte is like a lot thicker than I imagined it to be. And then this one, I think, is the abalone all over, top and bottom. And then the gills is dark flux over the abalone, and the stem is just plain. And then on top is the abalone with raspberry mist over it. But it didn't really break at all or get any texture. Sometimes these mushrooms are almost too small to get the kind of movement that you really want to get. Okay, and then just 2 left here. These are from mold. They're like a little cattle skull. And so then this one's blue teal, which I didn't do that thick, but it looks really kind of good. It's like all funky rotten or something. And then this one is the iron wash. These both were white clay, cast clay. Iron wash, wiped back, and then iron yellow. So yeah, and these all have the nichrome wire in the top for hangings. So pretty happy with my bead rack. I had to put it up 1 level to get the depth that I needed. So you can always do that, put it up on a kiln shelf. And then that's it. Probably my favorite item of the whole one was actually the kitty cat, so pretty. Okay, thanks for tuning in to my kiln opening. It's just a mini one this time. Cone 5. See you next time.